We are people who want to reason. And I like what Junior here, Kisero, he said. He said, we want to listen, we want to challenge, you know, and we want to be part of the solution. So let us listen. And you can challenge what the professor is saying the same way you are challenging what I'm saying. I mean, it's the right thing for intellectuals. Professor.
Your Excellency, I'm going to pick on a course in my university, which we are beginning in September, and that is a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. A Bachelor of Science in Nursing, in preparation for that program, we've had to spend almost 3.8 million to prepare equipment for nursing, even before we start. It's not the same as preparing students for teacher education, where I need the 4 walls, I need a micro-teaching lab, which does not cost even a quarter of what it will cost me to prepare a nurse. And indeed, the skills lab for nursing alone, even when Q was telling me I'm ready, they've still been given other things to buy, are going to cost me 1.67 million. So preparing a nurse is very expensive. And so we cannot have the same cost for preparing a teacher, preparing a doctor, preparing a lawyer, like the differentiated unit cost was doing. Indeed, colleagues and our students who are here, some of our universities were paying us 60% of our salaries using the old model. But right now, if I am able to get the correct banding for my students, Your Excellency, I'll be able to support even capital development within my institution within the next 2 years. And that is the truth of the matter. I will not have to beg for money and ask for money and wait for capitation. But I do take on board your concerns about the correct banding, so that there is a normal curve depending on how we deal with our students. So, Your Excellency, I will say all courses don't cost the same. And our students should appreciate that if we get this money and we don't do our best with that money, then we are responsible for what is going to happen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor. Richard also said maybe there is a problem with the mode of implementation. Maybe there are good ideas, but there is a problem with the mode of implementation. Richard, let me take you back a bit, if you allow me. I have had occasion to sort out 2 other problems like this one in our education sector. When I became Minister for Higher Education, for 19 years, students had to wait for 2 years before you can join university. And nobody wanted to sort it out because it was difficult. Every minister dodged, danced around it, because people don't want to solve problems. It is easy to color problems, or we have a big problem. Talk about the problem, explain the problem, so, but it's difficult. It's okay for people to talk about the problems. I see many people, there's this problem, the students are being placed in the wrong band, this model is not good. But I have tremendous respect for the people who have ideas on how to solve the problem, on how to come up with solutions. Yeah? So, I sorted out the problem of university students having to wait for 2 years. It was difficult. I was called names. People said I was going to destroy the education system. we were incurring huge losses. You know, a student finishing Form 4 and waiting for 2 years, many of them, by the time they were going to university, many of them had dropped out, others had gone to pursue other things, some of the girls had gotten pregnant, you know, and it was just chaos. So I took it upon myself and drove a program that eventually, in 1.5 years, we sorted out the problem. Number two, we had a big issue, a big conversation, as I told you earlier, about education and the absence of technical education in our system. I took it upon myself, and I am very proud today that from 30,000 students in our TVET, we today have 700,000 students, and we don't have a skills gap that existed before. Again, it took a lot of courage. This too is one such challenge. I'm asking you guys, let us solve it together, the way Junior here said. And we can do it together. We can do it. So, let me combine what, before I come to Melody on lead disbursement, let me go with what Kisero Jr. Otieno said. He said, what was wrong with the old model? Yeah? Number one. Number two, why don't we amend the old model? Yeah? And number three, why don't we do it together? Junior, let me call you that. You're so right. I will tell you what was wrong with the old model. And then I will tell you what we are doing with the new model and how we can do it together. I don't know even whether it is me to say what was wrong with the old model. The old model was almost destroying our education. Because, number one, it assumed that all the courses were the same. Number one. It also assumed that government had the money to pay 80% for everybody, when it did not. And the results were disastrous. Scott Theological College, a university, closed down because of the old model. Many universities here, when I came into office, because of the old model, 23 out of 40 public universities were bankrupt. And if you are going to a university that is bankrupt, explain to me what kind of education you are going to get from a university that is bankrupt. Friends. And are there university chancellors here, vice chancellors here who know how serious that is? What was the situation? Yeah? Are they here? Vice chancellors, say many. You know, if the old model was working, tell these students the old model was good, and you know, let's go back to the old model. Yeah. So the vice chancellors are here. Any vice chancellor want to tell us? Yes. Who? This lady here, or? Oh yeah, here from Embu University.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I want to say that, indeed, as you've said, the old model